Nation, welcome to the ALBERTA Report. I want to preface this piece by saying that between pandemic burnout, chronic underfunding, and provincial governments often too focused on big showy nonsense than their core responsibilities of providing their citizens with the best healthcare and education possible, Alberta is heading to a crisis of their own government's making. So while this piece will make it sound like it's always sunny in Alberta, and it is sunny here a lot of the time, this bit isn't a glowing review of Alberta. New Premier Danielle Smith needs to stop with the partisan showboating and get on with the job at hand, or she will soon be replaced by the thing she apparently fears most, which for some reason isn't the irrelevance she's courting or the sweet release of death that eventually waits us all. Oh, that went dark. No, this piece is actually about Ontario's health system and how much worse it is than the rapidly deteriorating Alberta one. Having spent decades in Great Lakes land and recently returning to the edge of the Rocky Mountains, I can freshly compare the Ontario health system to Alberta's. First off, it took me less time to find an Alberta doctor accepting new patients than I've spent on average in my Ontario doctor's waiting room. Speaking of, I spent less time in the side waiting room, you know, the little room they take you to for further waiting, before the Alberta doctor came in, than I've spent in the reception area of my Ontario doctor's office waiting to see the nurse practitioner I'll get because the Ontario doctor has too many patients and is somehow already running an hour behind at the start of his day. The Alberta doctor was young, professional, and sharp. My Ontario doctor was so haggard and worn that he looked worse than most of his patients did. And that is important because had I remained in Ontario, I was likely going to be searching for a newer doctor shortly when the one I had retired or died. The Alberta doctor will likely outlive me. The Alberta doctor set me up for a bunch of baseline tests, a couple of which would have cost me user fees in Ontario, but which are still free under the Alberta system. The Alberta clinic was properly staffed, efficient, and energetic. The Ontario clinic was like the waiting lounge in purgatory at the end of Tim Burton's Beetlejuice. So I get it, people fighting to fix Alberta's health system. You're losing ground and you deserve a provincial government that makes health care a priority. Because as someone who has experienced both, the last thing you want is the mess that Doug Ford is perpetuating in Ontario. And now this.